You got DiDN Carrington today with the Dallas Wings going against the LA Sparks. Look at this play.
Whoa!
What is that?
If she would have had extension.
Bro, what is that? You just yanked her down by her hair for no reason. That's like...
It would have come off.
I saw that at the Olympics. Lisa Leslie was playing Lon Jackson in Seoul and got her hunk of her hair.
That's
Next
crazy.
thing you know, it's on the floor.
How are y'all?
There's growing frustration over the 1BA's failure to address repeated dangerous conduct on the court. The latest incident involves DIDN Carrington, who has drawn criticism before for aggressive tactics that go beyond normal physical play. When confronted about her reputation, Carrington has denied being a dirty player, insisting she simply competes hard and never stops chasing a loose ball. But footage from a recent Dallas Wings matchup against the LA Sparks tells a different story.
Were y'all not like...
under the basket.
Bro, how is the WNBA letting her get away with this? Look at this. She's going to the... She just grabs her hair and yanks her... Bro, look at this girl's neck. Look at, like, rookie Sarah Ashley Barker. And the WNBA continues to allow this nonsense. Who is this behind? This is what it's going to come down to. Hold on, let me go for... I'm going to keep it real. This is what it's going to come...
In the clip, Carrington grabs an opponent's hair and yanks her downward with significant force, a moment that visibly stunned onlookers. Commentary comparing it to a similar incident during the Olympics, where a hunk of hair reportedly came loose during a physical confrontation, underscores how severe this kind of contact can be. The action happened directly under the basket in full view, yet officials did not call anything beyond a routine foul. The rookie affected, Sarah Ashley Barker, had her neck visibly wrenched during the play, raising serious questions about why the league continues permitting this kind of contact to go unpunished.
Real, this is what it's going to come down to. Whoever that is standing behind her, and you watched her yank her head down, and you are Sarah Ashley Barker teammate, y'all got to start putting hands and feet on her. When y'all see her doing this, that's the problem. Y'all keep letting her get away with it. Ain't nobody done nothing. Man, one of y'all need to... Somebody got to take a 3-game suspension. Somebody got to take a suspension, bro. Somebody got to take it. Bro, y'all letting her run around like a menace.
Attention has also turned to teammates standing nearby who witnessed the incident without physically intervening. The suggestion being floated is that opposing teams may eventually need to respond physically themselves if officiating continues failing to deter this behavior, with speculation that a suspension of a few games might finally curb it. Frustration is mounting that Carrington seems to operate without consequence, as if untouchable, while the league takes no meaningful action. Calls are growing louder for teammates to start pushing back physically rather than allowing repeated targeting to continue.
Take a suspension, bro. Somebody got to take it. Bro, y'all letting her run around like a menace. DiDN Carrington is running around like a menace. Like she can do whatever the hell she wants to y'all, and there's nothing y'all gonna do about it. Somebody needs to do something. Y'all gotta push her, y'all gotta do something. Y'all continue to let this girl run around and punk y'all. There's no way you can stand there and let her do that to your teammate. Look at this. WNBA, are y'all a professional league or not? Are y'all gonna step in or are y'all gonna wait until...
The central question being asked is whether the WNBA considers itself a legitimate professional league, and whether officials will step in before someone suffers a serious injury, or the situation escalates into an actual physical altercation between players. The play in question is being dismissed as anything resembling a basketball move. Pulling an opponent by the hair cannot reasonably be classified as contesting the ball. Watching the sequence, its clear contact was intentional and had nothing to do with playing defense. The teammate standing directly behind the incident, watching it happen without reacting, has also drawn criticism, with observers noting how bizarre it is that nobody stepped in on behalf of a teammate being manhandled that way.
Professional league or not, are y'all gonna step in or are y'all gonna wait until somebody's hurt or it's a real knuckle, a real fade, a real fight? This is ridiculous. Bro, you can't be serious, man. You can't be serious. Look at this. You just pulling her by her hair, bro. That had not, bro. That is not a play on the. Now, is she gonna say that's a play on the ball?
One popular reaction floating around online suggested the situation calls for someone to physically confront Carrington directly, arguing that a forceful response would be the only thing to actually stop the pattern. Others have noted she simply plays with excessive aggression, framing it almost as inevitable given how often the league lets it slide. The broader sentiment is that repeated leniency has emboldened this kind of conduct, making it seem as though rival teams are intimidated rather than willing to respond. That specific sequence has been labeled a genuinely dangerous play, not an isolated incident, but part of a documented pattern of flagrant-level fouls that have gone uncalled or underpunished in the past.
Bro, that had not, bro. That is not a play on the. Now, is she gonna say that's a play on the ball? Is she gonna say that's a play on the ball? Come on, man.
Whoa!
She just yanks her.
Whoa.
She just yanks her by the hair. She just and you just standing here. You're standing here. You are standing there. How do you not do that? You're dirty. You're a dirty player. And Sarah Ashley Barker, teammate, is crazy. Look, the first person.
Additional footage reinforces the point, showing another situation where reasonable basketball fans would struggle to interpret the contact as anything resembling a legitimate defensive effort. A separate clip shows Carrington making contact with Skylar Diggins directly around the head, again with no clear relation to playing the ball. At some point, repeated instances like this justify labeling a player as reckless rather than simply competitive. The consistent argument here is that this pattern of conduct needs league intervention, and if the 1BA itself won't step in, it's possible opposing players will feel forced to respond physically on their own.
Ashley Barker, teammate, is crazy. Look, the first person said 2-piece and a biscuit would stop all that. That's exactly what I'm saying. I ain't trying to push back. That's exactly what I'm saying. A 2-piece and a biscuit would stop her from doing all that nonsense. Somebody pull that hair off her head and it'll stop all that nonsense. It'll stop all of that. Y'all keep letting her. Look, somebody said she just playing hard as fuck. Crime, yeah, because it's a joke. Y'all keep letting her get away with this. Somebody gonna have to put some hands on somebody.
The larger criticism is that Carrington is being allowed to operate as an unchecked physical threat on the floor, repeatedly striking opponents around the head and neck area without real consequence, which is being characterized as genuinely hazardous rather than simply hard-nosed play. There's also a pointed challenge suggesting Carrington's aggressive style would look very different against a player known for physically standing her ground, such as Alyssa Thomas, implying that Carrington may be selective about which opponents she targets this way. The suggestion is that this kind of conduct only continues because certain matchups allow it to go unanswered. Beyond player conduct, plenty of blame is being directed at officiating.
Some hands on somebody. Y'all can't, bro. It is no way y'all can keep letting her run around doing this to y'all. It's almost like, bro, it's coming off like y'all scared of her. That is,
Whoa!
Bro, that is a dangerous play. That is dangerous. That's a dangerous play. Y'all could try to, anytime, whatever, bro. That is a dangerous play. This isn't the first time.
The lack of any meaningful foul call, no technical, no flagrant designation, not even a video review, has drawn sharp criticism of the referee's competence, with pointed sarcasm suggesting they'd be better suited for entirely unrelated jobs rather than officiating professional basketball. The frustration boils down to a simple question: how does contact like that go unreviewed and unpunished? It's being framed as unacceptable for a legitimate professional sports league, with repeated insistence that this isn't meant to resemble a lawless, unregulated style of play. While acknowledging Carrington's overall skill and legitimacy as a player, there's confusion about why she continues resorting to reckless tactics that aren't necessary given her ability.
And called Caitlin Clark out of her name. He broke the internet. Everybody was stunned. Now, we all know Pat McAfee is one of the biggest Caitlin supporters on this planet. I don't believe he meant to call her out her name. That's just how the guy talk. He cursed all day long on his show. But people took it out of context and let it be known, bro. They ain't going for it. This is what Serena Williams and her sister said at the ESPYs last night about Pat McAfee. Let's roll the footage.
The ESPYs wouldn't be complete without discussing the huge year in women's sports.
But some of you are new fans.
The overarching message directed at the league is that it needs to clean up this pattern of dangerous incidents and hold both players and officiating accountable. There's particular disbelief that the officiating crew could witness that level of contact without stopping to review it, especially given the real risk involved. A rookie player could plausibly have suffered a serious neck injury from being yanked that forcefully by the hair. The situation is being characterized as reckless and hazardous, with a final call for the league to address the pattern before someone gets seriously hurt, and continued frustration that a player with a documented history of similar incidents keeps operating without real accountability.
New fans, so we wanted to give you some tips on how to properly enjoy them.
That's right. It's pretty simple. Do you like sports?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, well, that's what these are. They're sports, and when talking about the players, you can describe them the same way you describe any player by using words such as athlete, right?
Competitor?
Yeah.
That works.
Champion.
Dumbass. That's right.
Serena Williams is back in the news following her ESPYs appearance, where comments she made alongside her sister Venus about sports commentary quickly went viral and stirred up plenty of reaction online. Months back, Pat McAfee sparked controversy on his show when he used an unflattering term while discussing Caitlin Clark, causing a stir across social media. McAfee is widely known as one of Clark's most vocal supporters, and it seems likely the comment wasn't meant with any real malice. That's simply his usual blunt, profanity-laced style of talking.
That's right. You can call them dumbasses because sometimes those dumbasses are being dumbasses, and that's the beauty of sports. Call them whatever you want.
Just don't use the B word.
Yeah, I never use a B word.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Also, you're allowed, listen to this, you're allowed to like more than one player at a time. Even, hold up, no, wait for what I'm about to say. Even if they're both women.
Right. You can like me and...
Still, plenty of people felt the language crossed a line, regardless of intent. At the award show, Serena and Venus addressed the moment directly during a bit about how to talk about women's sports. They joked about acceptable terms for describing athletes, words like competitor, athlete, or champion, and even acknowledged that calling someone a knucklehead is fair game when they're playing foolishly.
Wait for what I'm about to say. Even if they're both women.
Right. You can like me and Venus.
Oh my God.
And you can like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
What a concept.
You can even like an entire team of women.
Easy.
That was Serena Williams at the ESPY speaking about Pat McAfee. Moving on to another story, so it looked like Caitlin Clark might be joining that Olympic team after all. I reported on this earlier this morning. Well, it looked like after further investigation, all of the information is not alleged anymore. She really could be joining the Olympic team. It's being
But they made clear that a certain derogatory term aimed at women was off limits, adding a pointed "you know who you are." They also poked fun at the idea that fans are allowed to support more than one female athlete at once, joking about liking both Serena and Venus, or both Clark and Angel Reese, or even entire rosters of women's teams. Shifting to another storyline, reports suggest Clark could be added to the Olympic roster after all. Earlier reporting on this was unconfirmed, but new details suggest there's real substance behind it.
Joining the Olympic team. It's being reported that the five-time Olympic gold medalist was named to the Team USA roster, but as of July the 21st break looms, less than 2 weeks out, injuries are concerned with guard Diana Taurasi dealing with two different alignments that have kept her sidelined for parts of the month of July, and it has thrown her availability for the Olympics into question. If the Phoenix Mercury star is unable to get healthy in time for Paris, then there is a chance young phenom Caitlin Clark takes her spot. Now, guys,
Diana Taurasi, a five-time Olympic gold medalist, has been dealing with lingering issues, including back soreness and an unspecified injury to her lower leg, that have limited her availability throughout July. With the Paris Games fast approaching, her readiness has come into serious question. If Taurasi can't recover in time, Clark, who who was notably left off the original 12-player roster, could be tapped as her replacement and get her first ever Olympic experience.
Caitlin Clark takes her spot. Now, guys, this is an article that has come out of the pipeline today, about an hour ago. So this is very much true. I believe there's a chance that Caitlin Clark could definitely join this team. If they is starting to release information about Caitlin Clark possibly joining this team, they had to get that okayed, I believe. And the way it's looking, Caitlin Clark is definitely an alternate for Diana Taurasi. Ain't that something how the door just revolves back around a Caitlin, dog? Now,
the Mercury organization hasn't released detailed updates on Taurasi's condition. She initially sat out a game against Connecticut on July 1st due to back pain, then returned to play 30 minutes against Dallas just 2 days later. But her exact status heading into the games remains murky. Taurasi wasn't expected to play in Indiana's matchup that evening, and no clear timeline has been shared for her recovery.
Door just revolves back around a Caitlin, dog. Now, the article goes on to say the Fever guard, who was controversially snubbed for the initial 12-player team roster, would be an injury replacement for Taurasi, getting the chance to play in her first ever Olympics game. Diana Taurasi is currently dealing with back soreness as well as injury to her lower left leg. The exact leg injury is not known at this point. The 42-year-old Phoenix guard initially missed a WNBA game on July the 1st against Connecticut due to her back issues, according to the Mercury.
Given the uncertainty, Clark is increasingly viewed as the top candidate to step in if Taurasi is ruled out. Reports from when the roster was first revealed in June already flagged Clark as a likely injury replacement option, and given how well she's performed this season, arguably outpacing Taurasi's numbers, many feel it's only fitting that she'd get the call if needed. Under Olympic rules, alternates can replace any athlete on the roster right up until tip-off of the opening game, which is set for July 29th against Japan.
Against Connecticut due to her back issues, according to the Mercury. 2 days later, she played for 30 minutes in a win against the Dallas Wings on July the 3rd. So the Finnish Mercury isn't letting the public know exactly what is going on with Diana Taurasi as of right now. They haven't released any statements in regards to her exact leg injury, judging off what we've read there. Now, she is dealing with back soreness, but whatever the case may be, they is playing Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever today at 7:30, and I'm pretty sure Diana Taurasi will not be suiting up for that.
That means Clark would technically still be eligible even close to the start. The bigger question is whether Clark would actually accept the spot if offered. She's played basketball nearly non-stop all year with barely any real break, so there's a real chance she might decline in order to rest her body.